what happens to victims is so complex. Um, I agree. Agree, King World. Um, I wanted to say more, but I don't. I'm about to bring World up. Um, I guess he has something to share. It's another male perspective. So let me know. How everybody feel. You can drop down if you need to. For anyone who feels like they need to drop down, but I'm going to bring him up and see what he has to say on the matter. Is that okay, everyone?
Yes, please.
That's
Okay.
fine as long as there's no animosity.
Right.
Because
Right.
I don't,
Okay.
I'll just drop down if so.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Still learning. Okay. Hello.
Peace.
Hello, world. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, another guest. I don't think I can fit another guest. Oh, that's Peanut.
You can add up to 9 people.
Oh,
9 people
nine
can be up
people.
there. Nine
Okay.
people.
I
Yeah,
always
just
thought
keep
it was like
adding people.
4.
Yeah, just keep adding. Then they can come up and
Okay.
speak on your
That's good to
channel.
know.
Yeah, I didn't know you went live and stuff. I don't even know. Have you been to my channel before? Cause I'm subscribed to you. I don't know who you are.
Yeah, I've been to your channel before. I've been to your channel, the T's
For real?
channel, Jazzy G.
No, I ain't talking
Um,
about nobody else panel. I was asking if you had come to my channel before. I report on carbonation
yeah.
and the cult
Yep.
leader, Eliseo Bishop.
Yep. I've been to your
Okay,
channel
so
plenty of times. I saw
okay.
I don't know if you remember, but well, I don't, you commented on my video where I took a clip of Candy when she was having when you interview her.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I get a lot of content from either you or the T at this moment because so many people have left out of the you know this particular um sector, but I think everybody does a great job at reporting in their own different ways, interviews, catching live um of him, his own words, his own actions. So I think
Mhm.
everybody does a great job. So I like to, like the T said earlier, I like to do my research, and I think part of that research is going to different channels and finding out from different angles what is going on.
So, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Let me see if I can turn my
How
volume up.
can
Give
you
me one
find out
second.
an angle when you're looking at a channel that only posts videos of carbonation? What does that do for you? Aside from just watching Nature Boy and carbonation, what does that do? Because for 3 years consecutively, I've had a platform discussing this code and the dangers of the code.
Um, you
What?
said what is the purpose of watching the videos?
No, I'm interested. Like I'm trying to figure out like what you were saying about all these other people that you were mentioning, but I just it was just me talking to you, but you mentioned all these other channels, and
Mm-hmm.
then you were saying all of them had good information. They could give you perspectives. But if the
Mm-hmm.
channels only post the videos of Nature Boy and the Code, what perspective are you getting? And I stated that I had been doing this for 3 years with an open bill panel to dialogue about this.
Well, part of research is sometimes just listening to the individual themselves. So, for instance,
Hmm.
I know there are channel holders who give commentary while the video is playing. And sometimes, I don't need that. I just want to hear what is being said. Like, for instance, when Tanisha was being verbally abused by Nature Boy or
Hmm.
Eligio, when he was degrading her and he was telling her, you know, tell them you want this, tell them you want that. I own you. You want the white man to lock me up and all this craziness. Sometimes you just have to hear that without the commentary, without the pauses. Sometimes you have to be able to have that content itself so that you can clearly process what is happening, watching the dynamics of the body language and just different things that I
So
think.
if that's the case, where
Yeah.
do you discuss it then? If that's what your channel is about, where do you discuss it then?
My channel isn't about discussing. I
No,
usually
no,
so
no, not
what
you,
I just
not you,
started
not
doing
you,
is
sis,
discussing
sis,
it,
not
but
you, not
huh?
you. like you going somewhere else with it. I said, not you. I said,
Oh,
where do you do that if that's what your channel is about? Where do you go to discuss it if your channel is only posting videos?
would you go to discuss it?
Yeah, what do you discuss it at? If you, because you said that some channels that only post the videos, that's how you're able to get a better understanding and some other stuff. So then, if that's what a person's channel is about, where do they go to discuss this? This cult and the cult leader, Eligio Bishop, who's the target.
Oh, you mean where do other channel holders who post it go to discuss it? Some channel holders don't. Their job is not to discuss it necessarily. Their job is just to report it. Like
Oh,
there's a
okay.
new
So then,
channel right now.
oh, okay.
I can't remember the name, but they have BIGO. So what they do is they take the BIGO lives and they'll just drop them down. They just put them on there so that
Mhm.
I guess to help other channel holders process it. And that's what the commentary for me is to process with their audience what is being shown. But in order to do that, you have to have somebody to give you that information
Mhm.
without anything, so that the people are able to process it with their viewers. Does that make
See, I
sense?
was well to a degree, but you still didn't answer my question though, and that's why I came up on
Maybe
your
I'm not
panel because I've
understanding the
been listening to
question.
you. What I'm saying is, you're sitting up and it's like you comparing me with other channel holders when I come up here. I just came up here because I listened to a dialogue that you've had, and of course I see Peanut Nola, who's always in my chat as well. So I was like, let me come over and see what's going on. I see the channel that only posts the videos of Nature Boy. So I was like, let me see what this dialogue is about. Because now I've been
Hmm.
hearing people more, giving commentary on,
Hmm.
this coat and Eligio Bishop. So that's why I
Hmm.
stated to you about the amount of time that I had been giving dialogue, discussions, as well as doing the commentary on the coat. Because we all see the effectiveness of the coat, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
then I asked the question to you. I said, okay, so then if you mention all these other people that you were going on and then saying, when I come up here, I was like, so if you're saying, for an example, the Titas right here that
Hmm.
post all of the videos that you were saying that sometimes you don't need to hear commentary of. So when you said that, I'm like, okay, so then if you listen to this channel solely for that purpose, where does that channel go to talk about this information?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's the question you would have to ask that channel holder. But I know
Oh,
if I
wait,
want to hear, like, for instance, when I go to your channel, when um when I want to get like interviews, when I want to hear, like, it's almost like inside stories that people don't necessarily get. Like nobody knew who Candy was for a very long time, except for a few people that I knew that that who watched your channel, because they didn't get to see that interview, and I felt like that I got to see that interview,
it
so
was a
now I
fake
have a better
story.
understanding. Huh?
It's a fake story.
It was a fake story.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling
Well,
you. That's
that's
why I'm up here
unfortunate.
because I do commentary on this coat. That's why I'm up here with you now because a lot of the things that you were saying, especially about velvet and all this other stuff, we've discussed it for 3 years now. And I just wanted
Right.
to, insert a few things while that you were up here. And I also had a question for the other channel holder that you mentioned that had been posting these videos for these years now.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you want to? I'm sorry. What was the? Somebody's trying to come back
I'm
up.
up here to
So
ask the
so
T a
so real
question
talk.
since the T
Um,
never has anything to say, and the videos of the code is always posted. I just want to, have a dialogue. I want to see where the T is at with this because we've all seen the videos posted of carbonation for years now. So I
so
have a
real
couple
talk. I
questions
I
for the
wanna
T.
I wanna thank you for having me on your panel tonight. It was a wonderful discussion. There's
That was
one
a
thing
fake
that I'm
nurse
not gonna
that you
do. I'm
interviewed, and
not
we
gonna
Hold
will
on,
approve.
T.
make
Hold
sure
on.
that
Give me
that's
one
on social
second.
media.
Okay, what were you saying? Because I don't know where that was going. I'm sorry.
I was just thanking you for having me on your panel tonight. There's one thing that I would never allow for my own self and my own peace of mind. I let that conversation flow just to see where it was going, and I see that it's not going anywhere. I don't deal with abusive men in any context, period. Okay. And that to me is a form of abuse. So I'm going to exit now so that you can allow him
Okay.
back up onto your panel to say whatever it is that he has to say. And I will be leaving. I came here for you. I had a wonderful discussion with you. I had a wonderful discussion with Ivy. I appreciate hearing your point of view, and you are definitely welcome on my channel as always, anytime. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful night. Thank you to everyone in
Um,
the chat as well that supported this conversation, and
ooh,
yeah,
that gave me a headache.
have a good
I,
night.
I, I just okay. Before you
Thank
go, I
you.
just want to say thank you again.
Thank you.
Um, I yes, we really appreciate you here. You are more than welcome. If I ever do another live, I probably won't do one on Velvet. That's why I made the comment, made the caption when I made it, because like you said earlier, we don't want to take away from what this is supposed to be about, and that is taking exposing and somehow helping in aiding in the dismantling of Nature Boy, aka Eligio Bishop.
Agreed.
Um,
He's
and
going
so all that
down.
other stuff, and that's why I ask you ladies, let me know how you
Yeah,
feel,
I gave it a
because
chance. I gave it a chance,
yeah,
but I have well, there's one thing. I have a lot of strong men in my family, and I was raised very well, and I know I will not tolerate any type of abusive talk towards me,
that's right.
or so I know when to be quiet, and I know when to exit. I don't argue with men, so. Thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate you. I appreciate your platform, and I will wish I'll jump down and let other people back up on the panel. Have a
Before
good
you go,
Okay.
I
night.
want to say
Oh,
that
mhm.
I love your resolve in this, and I love how you honored yourself through that discussion because um, honestly, I think it's plenty of room to dismantle Nature Boy. I think it's plenty. Everybody can speak upon it. I don't, I don't know where that conversation was going. I
Yeah, I
watch
don't.
him. I think he's a great guy too. But I enjoy watching everyone who's trying to bring awareness to that, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They're going from different channels to listen to people who's bringing awareness, and I just want to give honor to and respect to your resolve in that, and you remain classy through that whole conversation. I
Thank
think
you
that was
so
beautiful.
much. And just for the
Yeah.
record, my platform is kind of designed in a way. So if you've ever been to college, and I know probably most of the women on this panel have been to college and have a degree completed probably. This is what you do in a college setting. You
Discourse,
observe,
absolutely.
yeah, and then you talk about it, and but in order to have something to talk about, you have to have something to see, to listen to watch. And so I know that a lot of channels use my videos to have discourse and converse about what it is they see. And I really appreciate that every time I see one of my titles popping up in a live and it being discussed by people on the panel, people in the comments. I love that because it's not only spreading awareness, it's everybody getting their own different perspective about what they see is going on and what they think we can do to help bring this cult down. And there's so much going on in the background. There's so much that we don't know about. Everybody's playing their position, everybody has a role. And I think that we're all doing the best that we can with what we have, the resources that we have,
Hmm.
especially as a melanated community. We don't
Yeah,
always have a lot of resources at our disposal. Sometimes it takes longer for people to really care about what's going on, especially with Black women. And so I
Can I say
appreciate
something?
absolutely.
sure. Is that who's that? Three
My
kids.
3 kids. Yeah.
Okay.
But T, you know me in the comments that not out what about this again or something like that. But I just want to say, take this opportunity before you leave the team to tell you I appreciate what I've done and the fact that you only put out the the video. It allows people to digest that information and
Mm-hmm.
process it. You know,
Yep.
we all have commentary comes from, even if it's just like me sitting in my house by myself, I have commentary. I'm only speaking it to myself, but commentary based on the videos that I've and
Can everybody hear
and
each
for me,
other? My volume sounds a little low.
Yeah, I
Can
can
yeah,
hear.
can can everybody hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
and that's what I take from the sheet. I do go around and I listen to other people's commentary, and sometimes I do not agree with what they're saying. But and I voice my opinion if it's allowed, and then I move on, and that's all we can do. I think we have to keep in mind our singular purpose, whether we're posting videos only or we're posting videos of commentary. The whole purpose of this is to bring awareness and to stop this. That's the whole purpose. So if we keep that in mind, then we can objectively look at the content of how to put the content out. It's still their opinion, and that's all it is.
Absolutely. That's why I thought it was funny. I'm just sitting here. I was very amused and I'm very tickled. I'm tickled pink or tickled black,
Right,
to a degree because it's like, well, what you're literally just you're giving your opinion, just like real talk. She gives her opinion, and I think Tony, somebody gives her. There's so many different people that are giving their opinion and putting their perspective on it. Everybody's perspective is needed. I just am a little bit
hmm
different. I'm more of an introvert, and so I'm doing what I do best. And I think that we
right,
all, like I said, we all have a lane, and we're all using it in the best ways that we know how. And that's all that we can do. I don't do interviews because I'm not an interviewer. I
right,
I'm not good at that. That's not more my forte. I'm the type of person to
right.
just, I'll ask a question, I'll let you talk, I'll ask a question every now and then and see what you respond with. But other than that, everybody does what they do, and that's just at the end of the day, that's how the cookie crumbles. So
Right. Right.
not
Right.
gonna do anything differently because you don't like the way that I choose to document or anything of that nature. I'm
Right.
going to do what I do, and I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing.
There are
Because
people who
Yeah.
tell me they don't like, that I all I do is talk. I've only been doing these conversations or discussions for like not even a month. But there are people who told me, you talk too much. Before I was making videos, and people would say the videos weren't good enough, and so sometimes you just have to, allow that negativity to stay wherever it is, because again, it's all projection. Um,
Yeah. No, I completely understand that. That's why I'm trying to be respectful of your platform. But there's one thing that I don't do. Like I said, I don't argue with men. And if you have to
right,
speak to me in a certain tone, in a certain like,
right,
I'm gonna remove myself from the situation. And that's how
absolutely,
you
I understand.
avoid being abused verbally, psychologically,
Oh,
emotionally,
somebody
any
has a
kind of way.
question for you,
So,
T. Um,
is it this uppity person?
yes,
I don't think they like me. They told me that I'm
they
fake.
do.
So,
They say you were classy. Let me see.
okay. I was like, we deserve each other. I'm fake. I
Wait,
don't
I don't
know.
know
I'm
what that.
like,
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about. Is
I
every
don't know
time I
how I'm
report
fake.
real
I mean, I
news to
don't know.
Beverly, I
I
don't know what
just
that
do what
is.
I do. If that's how you
See,
feel,
it
then
said
that's how you
the
feel.
carbonation, but the T was very classy in how she handled that individual. Um, so I don't know if you want me to read the question to you, or you can
Yeah,
read it
yeah, I
and answer it.
can. Yeah, no, you tell me what it is, and then I'll decide if I want to answer it.
Oh, okay. The person says, I just wanted to ask the T how she feels now versus how she assumed Velvet was. I only liked the T because I thought she was neutral. Oh boy.
How I feel
To her
now,
something. So do you feel the same about Velvet you did before? Um,
I feel that yeah, I feel the same about all the women. I feel that if
mhm.
you join a cult, you're lost and you're looking for something. When you leave a
Right.
cult, you come to some type of realization that, oh, this might not be the best situation for me. If you go
Right.
back, you're lost again. You have a moment of
Mhm.
weakness, whatever it is that might draw you back. It's just like a woman in an abusive situation. It's a cult. The cult
Mhm.
leader happens to be a narcissist, which takes the
Right.
abuse to a whole nother level. And so
Right.
I don't feel I'm not emotionally attached to. I am looking at it from a person that is seeing with my eyes and with my heart, and not in a way where I want to be upset with them because they went back. It's like you do feel like, oh my God, you're making the worst decision that you could possibly make for yourself. And I hope
Mhm.
that you wake up and understand that this is a terrible predicament that you have yourself in. Just like with Malia or Tanisha, it's the same exact thing. It's like seeing her on that hike. I mean, we
Mm.
can say whatever it is that we want to say, but that day I knew that, something changed within me. And I'm like, wow, this girl looks like she could drop dead at any moment. And then seeing her
Mhm.
a few days
And
later,
then the reality that she could have is
exactly. So I have to trust
right.
my instincts and say, you know what, I'm not going to be sitting here being upset at any of these. They should. Why would I be upset when you're putting yourself in an abusive situation? How dare I be mad at you about that? Like,
Mm.
you should be mad at your own self. You should be, I see that there's something wrong there mentally and emotionally and psychologically. There's something that's not clicking. And so I feel more, I guess, pity. I feel sorry for them than I could ever feel upset. I've never felt upset with the only thing that has probably moved me is just hearing about all the abuse and how none of them have had the courage to do anything to stop it. But also understand how emotional and psychological abuse works, and becoming desensitized to it and considering it a normalcy, a way of life. There's nothing wrong with it. Having that pounded into your head constantly, it's
Mhm.
there. Like I no, I'm I so the way that I feel about Velvet is that I'm hoping that she never goes back. I'm hoping that she continues to have these wake up calls. I'm hoping that she goes through her process where she experiences all these emotions that she's going to experience, and she comes to a place where she's like, I'm accountable for the situation that I put myself in. I'm
Right.
accountable for the things that I had a hand in witnessing while I was there. I'm accountable because I could have lost my life while I was there. I'm accountable because someone did lose their life while I was there. And I felt powerless, or I felt that there was nothing that I could do, or that I wish, it's just, there's so many things when it comes to abuse that I can't put myself in her shoes because I haven't been there. But then, you have somebody like Ivy who, that's horrific. What she went through was horrific. What you went through was horrific. And you had the emotional intelligence at that time to say, you know what? It's not even anybody else's fault. It's my fault. And here I am, and I have to be strong now. I have to get myself out of this. I have to heal, and I have to then advocate in a different way. And that's kind of what you're doing now. Even, even with our differences of opinion as it relates to Velvet, you're still advocating in your own way. And, all we can do is respect that. So, how I feel about Velvet is that Velvet is going to have to continue to come to some really stark realizations. And it's going to be a difficult journey. It's going to be a hard journey for her because she was there for so long and she
Right.
witnessed so much. And there was a lot of abuse that was handed down upon her. Like, I'm sorry, but how do you
Can
survive
I add
stuff
to
like
this?
that? Like,
And I wanted to add to this as well, what you were saying as well, Ms. T. Thank you for elaborating that, because that's very important. And I think one thing we have to pinpoint about being pretty much abused by a narcissist is this. Um, it's hard to come to it's hard to come to any realization when you get out of that, because you're in a smog. You're in a, like, your head is in a space where you're trying to develop what happened to you. Okay. And, I have a support group of women, codependency support group for women, right? And there's so many different reasons why people leave relationship, especially after dealing with a narcissist, right? Everybody have their own different premonitions. And what's important about realizing healing comes with your own accountability, like you were saying, right? Sometimes that comes during that abuse, sometimes that comes long after, you know. And where I realized I may have actually had the problem was when he tried to advocate for me to come back one day, right? He tried to advocate for me to come back one day. And I said, you know what? Not until we do counseling,
Mhm.
right? So
wow.
when he picked me up. The counselor was a whole hour away. We went all the way out there with the children in the car, mind you. Get to the counseling session. I sat down, he sat down, a counselor sat down in front of us. She said, hello, how you doing? He stood up, he walked out the door. He didn't say hi, nothing. He gave her a funny look, turned around and said to me, if you don't get in this car in 5 minutes, you'll be stuck out there. Okay?
Wow.
He did that all for the purpose, whatever purpose he had in his soul. He had no intentions on sitting down with that counselor. Before I walked out that door, the counselor stopped me and grabbed me by my hand. And she said, I want to see you by yourself next week. I did everything I could to get out there to her, and we talked about codependency. I did not know that I had some ownership to what I was going through in that moment. I didn't know that there was a problem with me dealing with this specific type of man, having to trace back where my first initial codependency came from, right? Being abandoned by a father, or or watching my mother go through several different type of abusive relationships. Do you understand? And then I said, wow, I had to trace that back. So some women do their own coping, and especially being abused by a narcissist, it just takes a while for them to get in that headspace. She not only got to learn about herself, but she's also going to have to eradicate this whole, I don't know what mythology that he put in her head, so she can find just see reality for what it is. You understand? And she still loves his methods. She still loves his own.
Right.
He's still great with the 5 sciences. That's still adapting some of the narcissist verbiage, right? So she's going to have to find her own truth in the matter. And that may take time. Some people take years, some people take days. It's going to be entirely up to her. And none of those women, we cannot force none of those. All we can do is expose him. But none of those women are going to get out of it until they're good and ready.